down for the finals. And for this video mga bubuyog, magre-review po tayo specifically on straight lines. Kung hindi po kayo aware, nag-upload po si Sir Acosta ng practice problems sa FB page ng SLU SEA Math. Marami pong practice problems doon, but I choose 25 practice problems on straight lines for this video. Alright, so let's try solving some of the problems. Anything else, you can post the video, try solve it in your own and compare to my answer. And if you think I'm wrong, then feel free to comment down below kung may better answer or better solution, so we can fix this and lahat papasa. Alright, so let's start. The vertices are, this is A, B, and C. This is 6 and 2. This is 2 and negative 4. Joke lang. Negative 4 and 4. This is 2 and negative 4. Alright. So sabi dito, determine the length of the median through vertex C. So, kung mapapansin nyo, this is a topic in the midterms pero applied pa rin siya for these types of, for analytic geometry. Alright. So, kailangan nating i-recall yung mga past topics natin para masagot natin yung maganto. So, basically, median means connecting a vertex and bisecting the opposite side. So, since the opposites, sabi dito, determine the length of the median through vertex C. So, from vertex C, we will draw a line bisecting this line segment AB. So, yung kalahati, andito yan. Ibig sabihin, this part is equal to this part. Then, we need to connect these two lines. So, basically, the median that na hinahanap natin is this green line. So, how will we solve for that? Basically, kailangan natin ng point nito at saka point nito so we can solve for the length or the distance. So, to solve for that, since yung point na to is the midpoint of A and B, what we need to do is solve muna natin guys yung midpoint nito. So, using midpoint formula, you add the x, divide it, you get the average of the x and average of the y. So, that's 6 plus negative 4, that's 2. Joke lang, yeah. 6 plus negative 4 is 2 divided by 2, that's 1. 2 plus 4 is 6 divided by 2 is 3. Alright? So, it's averaging the x and the y. So, the coordinate of this point is 1, 3. And the coordinate of the other point is 2 and negative 4. So, basically, to find for the distance, we use the distance formula. It would be equal to x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. I will set this as my point 1 and this as my point 2. So, let's solve. Let's substitute values. That would be equal to 1 minus 2 squared plus 3 minus negative 4. That's 3 plus 7. That's 3 plus 4, I'm sorry, squared. Alright, so to solve for the distance, is equal to 7.07. So basically, our answer is this, letter C. Alright, so first is we have a line 7 and negative 2, this yan, point to point, and 1 and 6. Sabi, i-find down natin yung equation ng perpendicular bisector of the segment. When we say perpendicular, it forms that the line we are looking for is forms a 90 degree angle with the initial line. Ito, so kapag magdodraw ako dyan ng perpendicular line, basically nakaganyan lang yan. Pero sabi dito, perpendicular bisector. Bisector, from the word bi, it means hinahati siya into two equal parts. So, yung perpendicular bisector natin should be positioned to the center, which is along here. So, i-position natin yan sa mas gitna. Basically, ganyan siya. This forms a 90 degree angle. Now, ano daw yung equation ng line na to? So, let's recall that how should we write an equation of a line? Writing an equation of a line entails us using different methods. Ang daming methods yan. We can use the slope intercept formula, that's the y equals mx plus b, or we can use the the point slope, that's y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So for me, I choose na gamitin itong point slope natin guys. So I need to find at least one point, this point here, xy, and the slope which is m. So let's find that. Alright, para masulat natin yung equation. So to finding that, ano tong point ng x1 tsaka y1? That point is the point on the perpendicular bisector. So in this line here guys, I should at least find 1 point. So, paano ko makakahanap ng 1 point dyan? Basically, wala akong knowledge para makuha yung mga parts dito or dito. What I know is this center over here, ito guys, yung sentro na to, this is a point of the perpendicular bisector, di ba? So, this point is also the midpoint of the initial line, which is this line. So, to get this point, it's midpoint formula. Average the x and average the y. So, that's 7 plus 1 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4. That's negative 2 plus 6. That's 4 divided by 2. That's equal to 2. So, I know that my midpoint is 4, 2. Alright? Now, I have the value of y1, which is 2. And the value of x, which is 4. Alright? I need to find now for the slope. And to find for the slope, wala pa akong 2 points sa perpendicular line. Pero meron yung perpendicular line sa baba nila, the initial line. So, I will find first the slope dito. So, to find for the slope, change in y over change in x. So, this would be equal to negative 2 minus 6, that's negative 8. That's 7 minus 1, that's 6. So, basically, the slope here is equal to negative 4 over 3. Ito yung slope ng line na to, guys. Yan yung negative 4 over 3. Pero yung hinahanap natin is slope ng perpendicular line na to. And by concept, the slope of the perpendicular line is equal to the negative reciprocal. Babalik rin natin yan and multiply to negative 1. So basically, the slope of the perpendicular line is 3/4. So, 3 over 4. Now, we can now solve for the equation. That's y minus 2 is equal to 3/4 x minus 4. So let's substitute values. That's y minus 2, i-distribute pala, sorry, that's 3 over 4 minus, that's 4 cancel 4, that's 3. Now, tingnan niyo yung mga choices kasi natin, they are all in the standard form. So what we need to do is I forgot the x there, to transfer the x and the y to the left side and the constants to the right side. So, yung mangyayari dyan, that would be equal to negative 3 over 4x plus y is equal to negative 2. Transpose sa kabila, magiging positive 2. So, that's negative 3 plus 2. That would be negative 3 over 4x plus y is equal to negative 1. Pero, bawal maging negative yung x natin. So, what we need to do is to multiply the yung buong ito ng negative 1 para mag-positive to. So, this would be equal to 3/4 x minus y is equal to 1. So, also, dapat itong equation and dapat yung value ng a or the value of the coefficient of x and y and dapat yung coefficient ng x and y should not have a denominator. So, to do that, we multiply this by 4. Cancel 4 here. That would be equal to 3x. 4 times y is negative 4y. 4 times 1 is equal to 4. So, basically, ang sagot natin ay 3x minus 4y equals 4. That's equal to 3x minus 4y equals 4. That's equal to a. So, our final answer, guys, here is letter A. Alright? Next problem. Nag-extend daw from AB para makuha yung point B. Extended through B. So, from B, nag-extend daw yung line na ganyan. At yung point na yon, kung saan siya huminto, is the point P. Alright? So, P is twice as far from A as from B. Okay, sabi dito, yung distance daw ng P to A is twice sa distance nito hanggang dito. So, ibig sabihin, this is the middle. We know that B is the midpoint of A and P. So, para gawin yon, I will set my P here as X and Y. So, we'll use the midpoint formula and solve for the value of x and y. So, basically, i-average natin, when we add 2 plus x divided by 2, dapat yung sagot niya should be 5. So, to do that, x plus 2 divided by 2 should be the value of 5. Kasi nga, midpoint, di ba? And also, when we add 3 and y, that's y plus 3 divided by 2, that should be equal to 7. So, to solve that, transpose natin sa taas, that would be x plus 2 is equals to 10. Transpose natin yung 2 sa kabila, that's 10 minus 2, that would be equal to x is equal to 8. Yung kabila naman, that would be equal to y plus 3, 2 times 4, 7 times 2, that would be equal to 14. Transpose natin yung 3 sa kabila, that would be equal to 14 minus 3, y is equal to 11. Therefore, the coordinate of this P is 8 and 11. So our answer is letter A. Alright? Next. Sabi dito, okay, so the problem here, guys, what is the locus of a point which is equidistant from these 2 points? So, locus of points, as we will define it, is set of points. So, ano daw yung mga set of points na equal yung distance nila to 0, 0, and 4, and negative 2? So, when we have this line, kung ito yung coordinate natin, that's 0, 0, and 4, 2 is along 4. 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is negative 2 over here. Yan, this is the line. Sabi niya, ano daw yung mga set of points na equal dito? Basically, ang set of points na equal dito is yung perpendicular bisector. Bakit? Kasi, when we have here, sa midpoint, dito yung midpoint. Let's say that this is the midpoint, and we draw a perpendicular line passing through the midpoint. Ganyan. Ibig sabihin, yung locus of points are these points because if from this point, ang distance nito papunta dito ay equal sa distance nito hanggang dito. Ang distance nito, ganyan guys, equal yan sa distance nito papunta sa kabila. So, that's what we mean by locus of a point na equidistant dito at dito. Okay, now, ang problem. What is the equation of that locus of point? Or what is the equation of the line? So, basically, that's same sa ating problem number, ito. Find the equation of perpendicular bisector na ginawa natin dito. Basically, naghanap tayo ng at least one point which is the midpoint and the slope. So, let's solve for that. So, to solve for this, we know that this point is 0, 0 and this point is 4, negative 2. So, kailangan nating hanapin yung slope and also the xy or which is also equal to the midpoint. Alright? So, to find for that, ang slope natin is change in x, change in y over change in x. So, that's negative 2 minus 0, that's negative 2. 4 minus 0, that's 4. And the slope is equal to negative 1/2. Pero, ang hinahanap natin is slope of the perpendicular line. So, that's equal to the negative reciprocal, which is 2. Next, x and y. How do we find for the midpoint? Midpoint is averaging the x and averaging the y. That's 4 plus 0 is equal to 4 divided by 2. That's equal to 2. Negative 2 plus 0, that's negative 2 divided by 2, is negative 1. So, this is our coordinates. So, what we need just to do is to write the equation x minus x1. So, that's y minus our y value, our y value which is negative 1. So, that's plus 1 is equal to slope which is 2. X minus our x value is 2. Okay, so let's just transfer. That's 2x minus 4, that would be equal to y plus 1. Transpose lahat natin sa kabila. That would be equal to negative 2x plus y. That's negative 4, magiging positive. So, 4 plus 1 is 5. Pero guys, mapapansin nyo, sabi ko nga, bawal yung negative value ng x. So, multiply natin yan with the negative 1. So, yan, magiging 2x minus y minus 5 is equal to 0. Basically, our answer here, guys, is letter A. Alright? So, next problem. Ang problem number 5. Okay. The distance from a point 2y to the line 4x plus 3y minus 5 equals 0 is equal. Okay. The distance from a point to the line is equal to 5. Find the value of this y. So basically, guys, when we have if we have a line like this, kung yan, if given yung line na yan, and sinasabi na merong point at may distance yung dalawa, ang sinasabi niya pong distance is the shortest distance, and magkakaroon tayo ng shortest distance kapag naka-perpendicular sila. So kung meron yung point na to is, let's say it's in this part, the distance that this is telling us is this perpendicular line to this initial line. Kasi kung sinabi mong the distance of a point 2y to the line, ang dami niyang distance pwedeng ito, pwedeng yan, pwedeng to, pwedeng ganon, di ba? It's ang daming distance yan, guys. Pero sa mga problems na ganito, it is always guys, always referring to the perpendicular line, perpendicular distance, alright? From that point going to this line. Okay, now, this is the line 4x plus 3y minus 7. Now, ang point down na to is 2 and y. Now, alright guys, so I will share you a formula, and remember, this formula only applies when we are finding the distance. When we are finding a distance from a point, that's a point going to a line. Alright? So, only applicable for this type of problem, guys. So, para ma-solve yun, that would be equal to D, the absolute value of AX1 plus BY1 plus C, absolute value yan, over the square root of A squared plus B squared. Wherein, kung meron tayong, for this type of problem, this is the value of A, this is B, and this is C. This is our X1, and this is our Y1. So, to solve for that, let's solve using this formula. Again, sinasabi ko nga, this formula is only applicable for this type of problem. It's a derived, parang manipulate nila yung distance formula to get this certain type of formula. So, to solve for that, again, that's absolute value of AX, that's A, which is 4, X1, which is 2, plus B, which is 3. We don't have the value of the Y1, yun yung hinahanap natin, so let's just set that as Y, plus C. Ano yung value ng C natin? That's negative 7, so I'm sorry, let me change that, it's negative 7, over the square root of A squared, that's 4 squared, plus 3 squared. Let me go a little bit down. Alright, so solve natin to. That would be equal to 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 7 is 1. So that would be the absolute value of 1 plus 3y over square root of 4 square is 16 plus 9. That would be equal to 25. The square root of 25 is 5. So, we know the value of D. Kasi sabi dito, the distance is equal to 5. So, this 5 here. So, that's 5. Transpose natin yung 5 sa kabilang side ng equation. That would be equal to 5 times 5 is equal to 1 plus 3y. We can now remove the absolute value sign. So, para after that, that would be equal to 25. Transpose natin yung 1 sa kabila. That would be equal to negative 1 is equal to 3y. Divide both sides by 3, divide both sides by 3. The value of our y is basically 24 divided by 3, which is 8. So, our final answer is the value of y is 8 here. That's letter C. Alright? Next problem. Alright guys, so sabi dito, which of the following lines is perpendicular to the line x over 3 plus x over... Okay guys, so for this problem sabi, ano yung line na perpendicular daw sa line na ito? And that line is x over 3 plus y over 4 is equal to 1. Ano daw yung line na perpendicular dito? So to find for that line, again, kailangan nating mahanap yung slope. So to find for the slope of this, we multiply all by 12 para makancel ko yung mga denominators. That's 12 divided by 3, that's 4x. That's 12 divided by 4, that's 3y. 12 times 1 is 12. Okay, I'll now convert it to slope intercept. Y equals mx plus b para mahanap ko yung m. So that would be 3y is equal to negative 4x plus 12. Divide all by 3. So that's y is equal to negative 4 over 3x plus 12 divided by 3. That's 4. And my slope here is negative 4 over 3. Negative 4 over 3. And remember guys, ang hinahanap ko ay yung perpendicular line, which means that the slope of the perpendicular line is the negative reciprocal, which is 3/4. Now, I need to write the equation. That would be equation ngayon ng perpendicular line natin. Y is equal to y is mx plus b. I know the value of the m. Y is equal to 3 over 4 x plus b. And I don't know any values for the b or the x and the y. And it doesn't matter kasi meron tayong hindi naman na-specify kung saang point. For example, itong line kasi na yan. This line is the line x over 3 plus y over 4 equals 1. Ito yung line na yan. Sabi, saan daw sa mga line natin yung may perpendicular line dito? Hindi kasi na-specify kung saang point. Andyan ba yung perpendicular line? Nandito ba? So we cannot really set values for this. it would be impossible. So what we just need to do is to find for the slope, manipulate the formula, and what gets closest to our choices, that would be the answer. So let's solve for this. Mangyayari dyan, that would be equal to transpose natin yung b sa kabilang side ng equation, y minus b is equal to 3 over 4x. Transpose natin yung 4 to the other side of the equation. Magiging 4y minus 4b is equal to 3x. Transpose natin yung dalawang to sa kabilang side ng equation. That would be equal to 3x minus 4y minus 4b. Alright, so this is our answer, which is equal to letter C. Basically, letter C. X minus 4y, this is that line. Alright? Next, number 8. Solve natin number 8, guys. Two straight lines, 4x minus y plus 3 and 8x minus 2y plus 6 equals 0. So, itong dalawang line down na to, which of this? To answer that, kailangan nating hanapin yung slope nito at saka slope nito. The slope makes the comparison. Alright? So, to find the slope of this first line, that's 4x minus y plus 3 is equal to 0. That's negative y is equal to negative 4x. Divide both sides by negative 1, negative 1. Ibig sabihin, the value of my slope here is 4. I'll solve for the slope of this other line. That will be equal to 8x minus 2y plus 6 equals 0. That's negative 2y is equal to negative 8x divided by negative 2 divided by negative 2. The value of my slope here is equal to 4. Kung mapapansin nyo guys, they have the same slope, di ba? So basically, ang mapipresume ko dyan, they are parallel lines. Because when two lines are parallel, they have same slope. Pero, check out this guys, check out this. Ito, simplified version lang nito. Ito, when I will simplify this, I will divide both sides, all the equation by 2. It would yield to 4x minus y plus 3 equals 0, which is same dito. And when two lines have the same equation, nagpatungan lang yung dalawang yan. So, this first line, ito yan. And the second line is also the same line on top of it. Yan. So, ibig sabihin, the answer is they are coincident. Nagpatong lang silang dalawa. Gets? Line with an inclination between 0 and 90 degrees has blank slope. Ibig sabihin, between 0 and 90 degrees, that's 1 to 89 degrees. So, ano daw yung slope ng mga ganyang angles? So, ang slope po ng mga ganyang angles is basically, guys, positive. Bakit positive, guys? Tignan nyo to. This is the 0, 90, 180, 270. This part here is along this part. That's 1 to 89. And we know that this is positive. This is plus plus. This is minus minus. This is plus minus. This is minus plus. Ibig sabihin, magiging positive yung slope only in this region and in this region. For this region, magiging negative siya. Bakit magiging negative? Kasi negative times positive. Negative times positive, magiging negative siya. So, this is positive and this is negative. So, 0 to 90, basically our answer is positive. So, to solve for this problem, we have two lines, this line and this line. Ang sabi dyan, hanapin daw natin yung angle na ito. So, to find for that angle, I will share to you another formula. This formula, again, is applicable when we are finding angle of two lines. Alright? So, paano natin yan gagawin? This formula is equal to tangent theta is equal to the absolute value of the slope of the first line minus the slope of the second line over 1 plus slope of the first line times the slope of the second line. Okay guys, so meron tayong long method pero I prefer using this formula because it would be shorter and will be more practical when it comes to exams. Alright, so let's solve for this problem. That's tangent theta is equal to the absolute value of, first, solve muna natin, let's set this as M2 and M1. Solve muna natin yung slope nito and then slope nito. Convert lang natin yan sa slope intercept form. Plus 2y equals 6. Converting that would be equal to 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 6. Divide all both sides by 2. That would be equal to 2. Y is equal to negative 3 divided by 2. So, ito yung slope natin, negative 3 over 2. m2 is equal to negative 3 over 2. Solve natin yung isa. That's y plus 6 equals x plus y equals 6. Y is equal to negative x plus 6. So value of the m1 here is negative 1. So we have the value of m1 and m2. We can now solve for this problem. m2 natin is negative 3 over 2 minus our m1 which is negative 1. So that's plus 1 over 1 plus negative 3 over 2 times m1 which is negative 1. Then we simplify. Let's have some space. Negative 3 over 2 plus 1 is negative 1 over 2. Divided by negative 3 over 2 times negative 1, that's positive 3 over 2 plus 1. That's like 2 over 2 plus 3 over 2. That's equal to 5 over 2. So that's negative 1 half times 2 over 5. That's equal to negative 1 times 2. That's negative 2 over 10, which is equals to negative 1 over 5. So, itatangent natin yung absolute value ng negative 1 over 5. And we know that absolute value magiging positive yan. So, grab your calculator para mahanap yung theta. That would be equal to the tangent inverse of 1/5. So, to solve for that, shift tan guys 1 over 5, that would be equal to 11.3099, and that's equal to letter C because that's 11.309 round of 11.31. Yeah, it's letter C. Alright? Next problem. So basically, meron tayong dalawang lines, nag-intersect sila, ibig sabihin they are neither parallel or perpendicular. So let's say that ito po ang ating coordinate plane. Then, yung dalawang lines na to is this line and this line. Yung point of intersection nila, how far is that from the origin which is at 0, 0? Yun po yung tinatanong ng distance. So, to solve this problem, guys, we need to find kung ano itong coordinate kung saan sila nag-intersect. Then, after that, we find the distance from there going to the origin. So, paano ba natin mahanap yung point of intersection? It's basically systems of linear equation, guys. So, that would be equal to 4x minus 5y equals 26. That's 3x plus 7y. 2 transpose natin sa kabila. That would be equal to negative 2. So what I just need to do here is to do elimination. I will multiply variables here para makancel ko yung x at y na lang matira. So para mangyari yon, I will multiply here sa taas. I will multiply it by 3. And sa baba, I will multiply it by 4. So that I can cancel the x's. Alright? So that would be equal to 12x minus 15y is equal to 26 times 3, guys, is, let's use our calculator. 26 times 3 is 26 times 3 is equal to 78. Alright, 78. That's 4 times 3 is also 12x. 4 times 7 is 28. That's positive 28. Y is equal to negative 8. Alright, so we now going to subtract this. Magka-cancel po yung dalawang 12x. Ngayon, negative 15 minus 28. Negative 15 minus 28 is negative 43. It's negative 43y is equal to 78 minus negative 8. That will be equal to positive. So that's 78 plus 8 is 86. Yeah, 86. So to solve for the value of y, divide both sides by negative 43. Then we have y is equal to negative 2. Since we have the value of negative 2, i-substitute na lang natin any of this equation para makuha yung x-coordinate. So I would choose this first equation. That would be equal to 4x minus 5 times negative 2 is equal to 26. Find for the value of x. That would be equal to negative 5 times negative 2 is positive 10. Transpose natin sa kabila, magiging negative 10. So 26 minus 10. 4x is equal to 16. Divide both sides by 4. X is therefore equal to 4. So the coordinate, guys, is 4 and negative 2. Hindi pa yun yung final answer natin. We need to find the distance from 4 and negative 2 papunta po sa ating origin which is at 0, 0. So to find that, we use distance formula. That would be the change in x squared plus change in y squared. So that would be 0 minus 4, that's negative 4 squared, plus 0 minus negative 2, that would be positive 2 squared. That would be equal to 4 times 4, that's 16. 16 plus 4, that would be square root of 20. Using our calculator, that would be square root of 20 is equal to 2 square root of 5 or 4.47. 4.47. So our answer is letter B, guys. So we are given with the coordinates of a right triangle. We are very sure that it's a right triangle. So let me draw a right triangle, guys. Yan. This is a right triangle. Now, hahanapin daw natin yung midpoint ng hypotenuse. Our first step to do here is to determine saan nga ba dito yung hypotenuse, guys. We can do that by either graphing or basically getting the distance from each of with them. So I prefer getting the distance from one point to another point. So this, I will name this as A, B, C. Alright? Kasi 'di ba, yung longest distance sa mga sa size ng triangle is the hypotenuse, 'di ba? So I need to find that. So I'll set my triangle here A, B, C. I will set A as 2, 2. I will set B as 6, 3, and I will set C as 5, 7. And so I need to find the value of the distance from AB, then BC, then CA. So to find the distance of that, that's basically the distance formula. I would have 2 minus 6 squared 4.12. This is equal to 5. So basically, these are the lengths of the sides of the triangle. And ang hypotenuse natin dyan will be the longest side, which is 5. Now, that's line CA. So, this CA. So, kung ito yung triangle natin, this will be the A, this will be the C, this is B. Ito po yung hypotenuse natin, which is at length 5. Now, hanapin natin daw yung midpoint. So, this is the midpoint. So, what is A? A is 2, 2. C is 5, 7. So, just to get the midpoint, just average the x and the y. So, that's 2 plus 5. That's 7 over 2. That's the value of the coordinate x. 7 plus 2, that's 9. 9 divided by 2. So, that's the value of y. So, the coordinate for the midpoint is equal to 7 over 2 and 9 over 2. That's letter A. Yes. Alright. Next problem. Alright guys, so for this problem, we are tasked to find the distance between two parallel lines. I forgot there's a plus there, should be. From these two parallel lines. Okay, so kung tinatanong yung distance ng two parallel lines, that's basically finding the distance, the shortest distance of a perpendicular line passing through these two parallel lines. Ito yan guys. Ito po yung hinahanap na distance dyan guys. These are the two parallel lines. Alright, so paano natin yan mahahanap? I will introduce to you another formula. This formula will be equal to the distance between two parallel lines is equal to the absolute value of C sub 2 minus C sub 1 over the square root of A squared plus B squared. Alright, before proceeding here, itong dalawang parallel lines natin, dapat we need to simplify it para dapat same yung coefficient ng A tsaka B, ang coefficient ng A and B. So kapag yung given dito is hindi sila magkaparehas, you need to simplify them, divide it by 2. You need to simplify them talaga para mag-same yung coefficient, which is ito 15, 15, ito 8, 8. You need to do that before proceeding to this formula. So ano ba tong C sub 2? C sub 2 is the constants, alright? So kahit anong mauna dito, this will be your 1, this will be your 2. It doesn't matter because we are finding for the absolute value, alright? So let's solve. First, that's the absolute value of C sub 2. I will choose this as my C sub 2. That would be equal to 68 minus negative 51. Since it's negative 51, I will make that as plus 51 over square root of A sub 2. A sub 2 guys, ano yung A sub 2 natin? A sub 2 is A squared is 15 squared, I'm sorry, plus B squared, that's 8 squared. So the distance is equal to, use your calculator, that will be equal to 68 plus 51 divided by square root of 15 squared plus 8 squared. That's basically equal to 7. Alright, so the distance from these two lines is 7. Remember this formula. Okay, so let's review. May dalawa na akong na-introduce na formula. First formula, wait, let me show it. Yes, the distance from a point to a line is this formula. And the distance from two parallel lines is this formula. So, meron na tayong dalawang formula. First, from a point to a line, and second, from two parallel lines. Alright, next. Problem number 14. Alright, find the equation of a line whose slope is negative 2 and intercept of the y-axis is 4. So, basically, it's simple substitution. Y is equal to mx plus b because we have the slope and we have the intercept of the y-intercept. This is the slope, this is the y-intercept. So, substitute. Y is equal to the slope, which is negative 2. Y-axis is 4 plus 4. Ayan lang, guys. Pero naka-standard siya. So, ilipat natin sa kabilang side ng equation. That's 2x plus y is equal to 4. So, basically, our answer is 2x plus y, A. Gets? Alright, next. So, for this problem, sabi dito, the intercepts of a straight line on the x and y axis are 4 and negative 3 respectively. Determine its equation. So, we are given with the x and y axis. So, to solve this, meron naman tayong intercept form. If you have discussed this, we have the intercept form which is equal to x over a plus y over b is equal to 1. Wherein a and b, a is the x-intercept, b is the y-intercept. So, let's substitute values. That's x over a. A natin is the x-intercept which is 4 plus y over the y-intercept which is negative 3. I think, yeah, negative 3 equals 1. So, to make this, para matanggal yung mga fraction, we multiply it both by 4 and negative 3. So, multiplying dito sa ating x over 4, magkakancel yung 4, yung matitira is negative 3. So, that's negative 3x. Next, multiply naman natin dito. So, magkakancel yung dalawang negative 3. So, matitira is positive 4y. And dito naman, that's 4 times negative 3 is 12. Negative 12. Alright, negative 12. Now, x, again, sabi ko, x should never be negative. So, i-multiply natin itong buong equation with negative 1. So, we will have 3x minus 4y is equal to 12. And that is letter A, guys. This is our final answer. Alright, guys. So, for this problem, isosolve natin ngayon ang area ng isang hexagon. Now, by this points, hindi ko alam kung regular polygon, regular hexagon ba siya or hindi. So, first thing to natin is i-plot muna natin siya para mas madali natin maintindihan. So, first is 1 and 4. That's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the point, 1 and 4. Zero, andito yan. So, let's connect the sides. That's first side. That's your second side. That's your third side. That's your fourth side. Fifth side. And the last side. Alright. So, kung mapapansin nyo, it is a very irregular hexagon. So, given this irregular hexagon, paano na nga natin masosolve ngayon yung itong area ng hexagon na to? Basically, guys, kung hindi yan regular, mahihirapan tayo dyan because wala tayong general formula for that. Pero I will show you a technique. This technique will solve areas of irregular polygons. Kahit 9 sides man yan, ganyan-ganyan yan. Nonagon, octagon, hexagon, it doesn't matter. Basta irregular siya. Pwede nating masolve yung area niyan using this technique. Kasi, unlike regular polygon, for example, let's say a quadrilateral, kung meron tayong quadrilateral na regular, that's basically length times width. Madali lang. Pero, how if yung quadrilateral natin goes like that? Joke lang yung quadrilateral. 1, 2, ganon. Yung mga ganong bagay, may hirapan tayo. So, to solve for this type of problem, here's the technique to solve for that area. Applicable po to sa lahat. Basta irregular, finding the area. First thing first, gawa tayo ng table na ganyan. We name this. This is from and to. Hatiin natin to into 2 equal parts. Yan. Okay. From, guys, means from one point to another point. Pupunta tayo from one point to another point in a clockwise manner. So, let's start. Kahit saan yung starting point mo, okay lang yan. So, it will be equal to 1, 4. I will start from this point. From 1, 4, I will go to 2, 3. Next. From 2, 3, I will go to 3, 0. From 3, 0, I will go to 0, negative 3. From 0, negative 3, I will go to negative 2, negative 1. From negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 1, I will go to negative 1 and 2. From negative 1 and 2, I will go to 1 and 4. Negative 1 and 2, I will go in 1 and 4. And basically, meron tayong nabuong 6 sides. This is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Kasi hexagon nga siya. Alright? So, kapag nasulat natin to, we can leave our graph and go to the next part of our table. Itong part na to, I will name this as my height. This is the width. And this is the area. So, kukuha tayo ng kukunin natin yung height ng part na to, yung width, so that we can solve for the area and add them up para makuha yung buong area. Alright, so let's do that. First, para makuha yung height natin, we just need to get the average of our y values. Again, let me remind you, this is the x, this is the y, this is the x, this is the y. Alright, so i-average natin yung values ng y para makuha yung h. That would be 4 plus 3, that's 7 divided by 2, that's 3.5. 3 plus 0, that would be equal to 3 divided by 2, that's 1.5. Negative 3 plus 0 divided by 2, that's negative 1.5. Negative 1 plus negative 3 is negative 4 divided by 2, that's negative 2. 2 plus negative 1, that's negative, 2 plus 1, that's 1, that's 0.5. This is 4 plus 2 is equal to 6 divided by 2, that's equal to 3. Now, to get for the width, we just need to subtract the x values. From dito sa part, isusubtract natin dito. So, that's 2 minus 1, that's 1. 3 minus 2 is 1. 0 minus 3 is negative 3. Negative 2 minus 0 is negative 2. Negative 1 minus negative 2, that would be plus 2, di ba? Negative 1 plus 2, that would be negative 1. Negative 1 plus 2, that would be equal to negative 1 plus 2, that would be equal to 1. I'm sorry for that. And lastly is 1 minus negative 2, minus negative 1, so that's 2. So let's get for the values here, that would be equal to 3.5, 1.5, multiply lang natin yan, 3.5 height times width. Ito, that would be equal to positive 4.5. This would be equal to positive 4. This would be equal to 0.5. And this would be equal to 6. Now, to solve for that, i-add na lang lahat natin yung area nilang lahat. We will get the result of 3.5 plus 1.5 plus 4.5 plus 4 plus 0.5 plus 6. We have the value of 20. So basically, ang area natin, guys, is equal to, that's letter A. The area of this hexagon is 20. Again, i-recap natin. Paano ba nakuha yung area na to? First of all, you need to plot them out. Kapag irregular yung polygon nyo, mahihirapan yung isolve yan. So you need to use this technique. Pero kapag regular yan, you can use the regular formulas. Alright? Like for quadrilateral, that's length times width, di ba? Next thing to do, after yung na-plot, you make this table. Okay? So, from 2, you choose a starting point kung saan kayo magsisimula sa mga points na yan. So, you go from 1 point to another point. So, that's 1, 4 to 2, 3. That's 2, 3 to 3, 0. Gawin niyo yung ganito. So, to find for the h or the height, you need to get the average of your y values. You add 4 times 4 plus 3 divided by 2. Yun po paano nakuha dito. Ngayon naman, yung width natin is subtracting the x values. Pero dito, that would be equal to 2 minus 1, that's 1. 3 minus 2, that's 1. Huwag niyong gawing pabaliktad, ha. It would start from here going there. 2 minus 1, 3 minus 2, ganun. Alright? So, nang nakuha niyo yon, you just need to multiply height times width and height times width, height times width. Yun. Doon nakuha yung areas na to. And after that, you need to sum up all the areas and you will arrive with the final answer, which is the total area of this certain polygon. Applicable po to. Again, I'm explaining na applicable to sa lahat ng polygons. Alright? We will need to find the angle between the line and the x-axis. So, anong gagawin ko dito? Basically, I will let x be equal to 0 and y equal to 0 para mahanap ko yung mga intercepts nila. In that way, makikita kung saan siya tatama sa ating x-axis. So, para makuha yan, when x is 0, that would be equal to 4y is equal to 24. Now, y is equal to 24 divided by 4, that's 6. When y is 0, That's 3x is equal to 24. Therefore, the value of my x is 24 divided by 3. That's 8. Alright? So, sa y-axis, nag-ano siya sa 6 siya. And sa x-axis, nag-intercept siya sa 8. So, basically, my line would look like something like this. Ngayon, yung tanong, ano yung angle ng line sa x na na-form sa x-axis? This angle. Basically, we can use the SOHCAHTOA. Since I know that this side is 6 and this side is 8, I will use tangent. Tangent theta is equals to opposite over adjacent SOHCAHTOA. Alright? So, opposite is 6 and adjacent is 8. Tangent theta. We are finding for theta. So, we do the inverse. Tangent inverse of 6 divided by 8. So, you grab your calculator. That's shift tangent 6 over 8. That's equal to 36.87. Theta is equal to 36.87 and that's our answer, letter A. Next. Alright guys, so for this problem, sabi, the distance ng dalawang line is 7. So, 2 lines, the distance is 7. The statement saying that the distance between these 2 lines is also implying that these are parallel. Kasi, kung hindi parallel yung dalawang lines na yan, wala silang distance, di ba? Do you get the point? Yeah. I mean, so, kapag sinabi na may distance yung dalawang lines, you can already assume na they are parallel. Alright? So, this point to this point, ito daw yung 7. Ngayon, ano daw yung value ng C? Kung mapapansin nyo, may in-introduce ako sa inyong formula sa ating problem. I think that's problem number, 15? No, wait, 14. Joke lang, 13. Yes, 13. The distance between 2 parallel lines. This is the absolute value of this equation. So, pwede natin itong magamit dito since it's talking about distance of 2 lines. Alright, so let's solve. Dito, ang formula nun is D is equal to absolute value of C sub 2 minus C sub 1 over square root of A squared plus B squared. And again, sabi natin, bago ka mag-proceed dito, dapat nasa same silang form. Kung lahat nasa left side, both equations should, lahat ng variables ay dapat rin nasa left side. Vice versa sa right side. And since lahat sila nasa left side, it's okay, we can proceed. Parehas, second, i-check nyo, parehas ba yung value ng A and B nila? Yes, that's 15, that's 15, that's 8, that's 8. So basically, they are the same. Alright, so we can now proceed for this equation. Now, the distance is equal to the absolute value of C sub 2. C sub 2, we know that that's 68. Minus C sub 1. C sub 1, yun yung hinahanap natin. We name that as C over the square root of A. That's 15 squared. 15 squared plus B, and that's 8 squared. That's absolute value. And we know, guys, sabi niya, the distance is 7. So we can change D into 7. I'll put that here. So that's 7 is equal to the absolute value of 68 minus C over the square root of 15 squared plus 8 squared. Alright. So, since absolute value siya, I can make this as positive. Kasi it's absolute value. Yeah. Now, transpose ko to sa kabilang side ng equation. That would be 7 times the square root of 15 square plus 8 square over, joke lang, 50, okay, is equal to 68 plus C. Transpose ko yung 63 sa kabila para C na lang yung matira. So that's 7 times the square root of 15 square plus 8 square, positive, magiging negative, is equal to C. So to solve for the value of C, grab your calculator. That would be equal to 7 times the square root of 15 squared plus 8 squared minus 68. And the answer is 51. Alright? 51. So that's letter B. The value of this is letter B. Alright? C is 51. Alright? Next problem. Ito daw yung line na yan. We have negative 2, 3. And we have negative 3, 5. And we have xy. Siguro sabihin natin yung xy andito. Find the equation of the line. Basically guys, panggulo lang tong xy. Kasi when you are finding equation of 2 lines, you basically need 2 points. And this point and this point, okay na yan para makahanap ka ng equation. So, panggulo lang po tong xy. So, para makuha yan, first, we need to find the slope, change in y over change in x. So, 5 minus 3, that's 2. Negative 3 minus negative 2, negative is negative joke lang, negative 3 minus negative 2, so that's plus 2. So, this would be equal to 2 over negative 1, or basically, the slope niyan is negative 2. Now, next, since we have this, we set 1 point, y is equal, y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. This is the point slope form. We change y. Let's choose kahit saan dito it is applicable, guys. I choose this. Alright, so that's y minus 3 is equal to the slope, which is negative 2. X minus the x sub 1 is just negative, so this will be equal to positive 2. Transpose natin yan, magiging negative 2x, negative times positive, so that's equal to negative 4. That's y minus 3. Ngayon, so transpose ko to sa kabilang side ng equation, that would be equal to positive 2x plus y, negative 3, magiging positive 4, so that's plus 4, that would be equal to positive 1, is equal to 0. So basically our answer is letter A. Alright? Whew. Next problem, 20. Alright, so problem number 20. Sabi dito, determine the distance from 5, 10 to the line x minus y is equal to 0. Solving this problem, kung maalala nyo, may in-introduce ko sa inyong formula. That's the formula, this formula. Distance from a point to a line. When we are solving the distance from a point to a line, we can use this formula. Okay? So, balik tayo doon. That's problem number 20. We can use that formula. Again, the formula of finding the distance of a point to a line is equal to D is equal to the absolute value of AX sub 1 plus by sub 1 plus c over the square root of a squared plus b squared. So let's substitute values. Ito guys, this is a and this is b. We don't have value for c. Distance niyan, a guys is 1, positive 1. So we don't, that's 1 times x sub 1, which is 5, plus b natin guys is negative 1. That's negative 1 times 10, which is the value of y sub 1. We don't have the value of c, so that's 0 over the square root of a squared is 1 and b squared is also negative 1 squared is 1. So 1 plus 1, that's square root of 2. So doing that, it would be equal to 5. Negative 1 times 10 is minus 10 over square root of 2. So ito, that's 5 minus 10. I forgot the absolute value. That would be equal to positive 5 since its absolute value, 5 over square root of 2. 5 over square root of 2, grab your calculator, 5 over square root of 2, that would be equal to 3.54 or equal to 3.5355, and this is closest to letter A. Yeah, A is our final answer. So, pwede itong magamit itong formula guys. Distance from point to a line. This formula. Alright, next. So basically, we change it to slope intercept form and we can get for the slope. That's 3x plus 4y is equal to 7. 4y, magiging 3x, transpose na sa kabila, magiging positive negative 3x plus 7. Devote all both sides by 4. So that's y is equal to negative 3 over 4x plus 7 over 4. And our slope is negative 3 over 4. That's A. Right? So, meron tayong line which is ito, x plus 5y plus 5. So, this is that line. We need to find for the perpendicular line na nagpapass daw sa 3 and 1. To solve for the equation of this line, we need to find the slope of the perpendicular line. Ito, ano ba yung slope ng ating initial line? So, to solve for the slope of that, that will be equal to x plus 5y plus 5. I-convert lang natin yan sa slope intercept. That will be 5y is equal to negative x minus 5. Divide all both sides by 5. Y is equals to negative 1 over 5x minus 1. So, the value here of our slope is negative 1 over 5. Pero guys, para makuha yung slope ng perpendicular line, it is the negative reciprocal. So, that would be equal to m negative reciprocal, that would be 5. Alright? So, the perpendicular line, the slope has 5. So, to write for the equation, we use the point slope is equal to m x minus x1. Y minus ang y1 natin is this x and y. So that's y minus 1. Slope natin is 5x minus 3. Okay, so that's y minus 1. Distribute, that's 5x minus 15. Transpose natin yung 5x sa kabilang side ng equation. That would be equal to negative 5x plus y. Yung negative 1 transpose natin sa kabila, magiging positive 1. So that's minus 14. And bawal maging negative yung x, so divide both sides by negative 1. So yung result niyan, that would be equal to 5x minus y is equal to 14. So we have the answer, which is letter C. The slope of a vertical line is, when we have the slope of vertical line, that's undefined. Alright? Undefined yan, guys. Undefined. Because kung vertical line, yung slope ng vertical line, change in, di ba, slope is change in y over change in x. So, kapag vertical line yan, we have a value of our y, let's say that's 1 or 2, or yeah, that's 1. And ang x natin yan, always yan magiging 0. And 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So, this is problem number 24. Alright. So, this problem is same sa ating problem sa hexagon. Ay, wait, pakita ko ulit. Ito. That problem, guys, ito dito. Find the area of a pentagon. So, meron tayong pentagon na irregular ulit. Meron tayong, ito, di ba, hexagon. So, let's prove na pwede rin siya for a pentagon, for an irregular pentagon. So, again, sabi ko nga dito, sa problem natin dito, first, i-graph muna natin siya, then we do this table technique. So, alright, I will graph that out. Okay, first line, that's 2 and negative 6. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 2 and negative 6. Then we just connect the points. Churing, 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 and churing. So we have a pentagon with 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then after that, we draw now our table. So this is from, this is 2, this is x, this is y, this is x, this is x, this is y. We name this as our height, this is our width. Alright, so input tayo ng values. Let's choose a starting point. Maybe I will choose to start at this point, 2, 4. Alright, so from 2 and 4, I will go to 4 and 0. From 4 and 0, I will go to 2 and negative 6. From 2 and negative 6, I will go to negative 3 and 2. From negative 3 and 2, I will go to negative 3 and 2, I will go to negative 3 and 3. So from that, alright, so next guys here, kung makikita nyo, ito, from negative 3 and 3, ito from negative 3 and 3, we will go to 2 and 4. Alright, so to find for the height, again, i-average lang natin yung mga y values, this part and this part. So that's 4 plus 0 is 4 divided by 2 is 2. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. Negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. That's negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Divided by 2 is negative 2. We have 3 plus 2 is 5. That's 5 over 2. That's 2.5. 4 plus 3 is 7 divided by 2. That's 3.5. Now, to find for the width, we just need to subtract the x values. Dito papunta dito. Huwag niyong baliktarin ha. Dito papunta down. So, that's 4 minus 2. That's 2. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5. Negative 3 minus negative 3 is 0. 2 minus negative 3 is 5. Diba? Alright. So, next thing to do here guys is to find for the area. Alright? Find for the area. And to find for the area, we just need to multiply height and width. So, that's 4. This is 6. This is 10. This is 0. 5 times 3.5. 5 times 3.5 is equal to 17.5. Now, we just need to sum them up. And the sum is plus 10 plus 6 plus 4. We have 37.5. So, our final answer is 37.5. That's the area. So, the area is 37, letter D. Alright? So, ganun lang po siya kadali mag-solve ng irregular polygons, pala pentagon man yan, octagon, nonagon, it will apply, just use this technique. Alright? And for our last problem, sabi dito, find the equation of a line 2 units below the x-axis. So when that's 2 units below the x-axis, let me draw a graph here. 2 units below the x-axis, 1, 2. Alright, so this is that line. The line that are pertaining 2 units is this line. Alright, so ano nga ba yung equation ng line na to? That would be equal to, ano ba yung mga constant values? When this point, ano ba yung values na constant dito? Ang value ng y dito ay same as negative 2. Ang value ng y dito ay same as negative 2. Yung x lang nagbabago. So it means the equation is y is equal to negative 2. That's letter D. Alright? So that's our 25 problem, guys. I hope marami kayong natutunan. If you have some comments or may mga easier solutions kayo, just comment it down below para magtulungan lahat tayo. Alright? So just a review. Yung mga bagong concepts lang na in-introduce ko ay introduced you a formula of finding distance from a point going to a line. Ang distance dito, guys, using formula is D is equal to the absolute value of AX sub 1 plus BY sub 1 plus C over square root of A squared plus B squared. Ano pa ba? Also, inintroduce ko yung formula ng distance ng two parallel lines. These two lines, the distance here is equal to the absolute value of C sub 2 minus C sub 1 over the square root of A squared plus B squared. So this is our first, ito yung bagong first formula, second formula, third. Meron pa tayong third formula. That formula is finding the angle between two lines. So if this is the two lines, ano yung angle na to? Para makuha yan, we have the formula tangent theta is equal to the absolute value of m sub 2 minus m sub 1 over the 1 plus m sub 2 times m sub 1. And lastly, yun nga yung mahabang for finding the area, yung area of irregular polygons. Irregular polygons. We call that technique siguro, that's the sana all formula. Sana all. Sana all formula, yung table nga kasi sana all kasi applicable siya sa lahat ng irregular polygons, quadrilateral, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, nonagon, it doesn't matter. Pag irregular yan, you're included, bro. So that's it, mga bis. I hope you have learned something. If you have some questions, just comment down below. Try natin yung sagutan. That's it. Bye-bye, mga bis.